Hi, my name is John Garfield. It's March 20th, 2016. This week, I want to talk to you about how to delegate in a way that empowers other people. The practical side of working with people in any mountain, whether it's business or education, doesn't matter, starts with knowing what makes us tick, both ourselves and others. We all do exactly what's in our hearts. We don't do what we say, and we don't even do what we intellectually believe, contrary to many of our sort of beliefs. We really all do what's sort of scripted in our hearts or subconscious. So our hearts are driving the bus. That's a bottom line of understanding human nature, both understanding yourself and understanding other people. It's important to know that. So when we think about delegation, it's normally giving some of your power to others so they can carry out your vision and shoulder some of the load. We define the work and attitudes that go with that authority and hope for the best. Often those things are couched in procedures or conversations or interviews, whatever. Imagine a franchise, trying to script how they want their franchisee managers to behave. That's the nature of delegation. It often requires a huge amount of hierarchy, maintenance, communication, procedures, and replacements. Doesn't always work. Have to fire people. Because our traditional concept of delegation assumes what should be in someone else's heart instead of asking. We try to train in everything that's missing so that people can be more like us and carry out our vision. So that's the sort of the institutional or stereotypical concept of delegation. So I want to contrast that with how to empower others. So this definition of delegation creates servants, it ignores hearts, and it promotes sort of a lifeless hierarchy. It's called management chain for good reason. That when we attempt to give others the job of doing our vision, we create servants that simply aren't creative, aren't productive, and aren't happy. So when we think about empowering others, we have to admit that we don't know what's in other people's hearts. And here's the secret to finding out. Get this carefully, it's really tricky. We have to ask, and then we have to listen to what they say. The real art of listening is hearing their heart, not just their words. It's a sort of a prophetic skill that we can develop, and it starts with being in touch with our own hearts. Empowering other people flows from an awareness that God has written something unique and valuable on each of our hearts. There's something in their heart that's worth contending for. And when we recognize their true identity and when we understand what's in a person's heart and who they are in Christ, then we can work with their identity, encourage it, but we can never change it. So when we think about managers delegating servants, that concept is you be me and do my vision. And when we think about leaders empowering kings, it's I know and value what's in your heart, and I want to work with that. So when we think about delegation, we imagine owning some area of responsibility or having some additional freedom or autonomy to do it our way. That's normally what delegation sort of brings up. So let me contrast that autonomy versus fathering. Every parent and leader has to know when to let go. I mean, your kids reach a certain age, it's no longer appropriate to try to control them or manage them, or you just, let them go. Delegation assumes people want space and autonomy to work on their own. And that's not exactly correct. It's not in the heart of people really to be let go. We assume that's the case. Often that's what their words tell us, but that's not what's really in their hearts. We all long for fathers who understand who we really are in terms of identity and heart's desire, but we also welcome those same people to help us make our dream come true. In other words, we don't just want people to understand what's in our hearts. We want them to sort of on an ongoing basis help us refine it, define it, and draw it out and help us make that dream come true. We don't want to be estranged from fathers. We want to work with them on an ongoing basis. So, and the other reality is most people don't really know that's really in their own hearts, and they don't know how to ask for it. okay? They don't know how to ask for that father to walk with them and help make their dream come true. So a father helps me define that dream and do it. He doesn't manipulate me along the way. People really don't want autonomy. They want to be part of a larger vision. They want to connect the dots between their role and what God is doing in the kingdom. And they want to be part of a team or a network doing something bigger than just themselves. So let me give you this one little, not really a stat, but one little fact. The number one reason that people give for leaving a job is dissatisfaction with the supervisor. It's not usually the work, it's not usually the pay, it's almost always the supervisor. And now you know why. Leaders have several things that managers and supervisors don't, and that is that they're connected with their own hearts, and they know how to connect others with their hearts and their dream, and then father that dream into reality, all in the context of the work that needs to get done. Okay, that's possible. So here's 5 attributes of leaders or fathers. Number 1 is an ability to listen and hear what's in people's hearts. The second is to recognize identity and value people. In other words, when I understand what's in another person's heart and I talk to it and I make room for it, that's the greatest respect I can give them. That's the greatest sense of them knowing that I know what their true identity is knowing what's in their heart and putting value on that, helping that dream come true. The third one is leaders are connected with their own hearts and they can father others into their dream. So it's not just me delegating someone to make my dream come true, it's me understanding what's in that person's heart and somehow in the context of the job or the work or the vision, creating space for their dream to come true. And if we can do that, we reap a loyalty and an excellence in spirit that pays dividends in business. I mean, having that level of motivation in people we work with is well worth the time it takes to listen to their hearts. Fourth one is that they have a dream or a business with a kingdom purpose. In other words, the leader has a dream. The leader's connected with his own heart. And that's what makes it contagious. When they help other people connect with their hearts and make their dream come true, that gets to be a network or a team that everybody wants to be a part of. And the last one is that they're intentional about releasing people into their own heart's desire. In other words, releasing kings. So on one hand, there's a graphic in the newsletter that I want you to take a look at. That this gospel of the kingdom results in helping people become themselves, and it releases kings. Okay, it focuses on their vision. On the other side, this establishment hierarchy, traditional approach to management, chain of command, all that stuff, the school, the teaching, the sense that you're not ready yet, it creates servants. And servants are not happy people. God did not wire us to become servants. John 15:15 says, I no longer call you servants. From henceforth I call you my friends, for I've made known to you the Father's business. And the next part of that passage is, ask whatsoever. It's amazing. It's a huge difference. It's a revolutionary concept that can change any working environment. Have a great week. Change the world. God bless.